time in 5, 4.
Good morning, Ashleigh.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yourself?
I'm good, thanks. Ashleigh, tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm 33. I'm not really doing much with myself at the moment. I was a nurse for a while there, but I've sort of left it behind for a little while. Pretty much a lady of leisure for now.
Okay. Well, let's go back to your childhood. Yeah. Tell me about your parents.
They owned a bar in the south side of Glasgow. They're retired now, but they owned that for a while, so I sort of grew up there. I used to help out behind the bar quite a lot.
What was the bar called?
It was called the Hog's Head Inn.
The Hog's Head Inn. Okay, and they were landlords, is that right? Yeah.
Yes, they were.
And did they both work there?
Yes, they did, yeah.
Okay, tell me a little bit about your dad.
He was a man's man, spent most of his time behind the bar, socialising after closing time, playing cards, dominoes, that sort of thing.
And your mum?
She worked behind the bar. She didn't drink as much as he did, so she sort of worked in the bar but didn't socialise in the bar.
So he drank a lot?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Was that a problem?
There was, yeah. It's sort of under control now, but I would say there probably was a problem at the time.
How did you feel about that as a kid? Did you know?
It was kind of like normality. Yeah, it was normal for me. I kind of started doing it as well, really.
You started drinking as well?
Yeah.
How young?
About 13.
About 13?
Yeah.
Okay. Did your brothers and sisters, actually?
No.
You don't?
No.
You're an only kid?
Yeah.
Okay, cousins?
Yeah, but I didn't really see much of them.
No. Many friends?
I did have friends, but not anyone that I was close to. I spent quite a lot of my spare time. I quite liked working behind the bar. I quite liked the attention. So.
Tell me about primary school though. I'm interested when you were a wee girl.
I was a bit of a loner, really. Yeah.
Why was that?
I don't know. I think I was a bit different from everyone else.
Yeah. What made you different?
I don't know. Like, everyone wanted to sort of be popular, and I was just sort of inside myself.
What did you want?
I didn't really fit in. I suppose I wanted to fit in, but I didn't really feel like them.
Okay. What did you do after school?
Well, I went on to high school.
Well, sorry, let me rephrase.
Yeah, I went.
What did you do at night when you came home from school with no pals?
Well, earlier on, I would just sort of play by myself. There was a wee girl sort of lived close by that I played with sometimes, but quite often I just played by myself.
Okay. So you went on to high school then. What happened at high school?
I met someone.
Okay. Who did you meet?
A teacher.
A teacher.
Yeah.
When did you meet this teacher?
I was 15,
Okay.
and he was a lot older than me, and we had a relationship.
So yeah, I want to talk about that. But so this is after you started your drinking then.
The drinking had the drinking had sort of been happening for a while. Not quite as much, but yeah.
So tell me why you started drinking.
I fell pregnant.
At 13?
No,
No.
15.
Okay.
Well, to start with, I started drinking just because it was there. The stuff was there. I see my dad do it all the time, so I thought it was exciting. But later on, when I started properly drinking, I'd had an abortion, and it just seemed to make me feel better.
And that was the teacher's
Yeah.
child you had aborted?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, he was married, and he didn't want his wife to find out. He didn't want to see me anymore, so I had an abortion, and I had some time off school, and then I was sent back to finish my education.
Did you tell your mum?
Yes,
You did? How did that go?
they were disgusted with me.
Yeah?
Mhm.
And how did that affect your relationship with your mum and dad?
It just caused a great distance. We weren't that close, really. I wasn't that close with my mum anyway, so when that happened, it just sort of you know, caused even more of a distance between us.
And did you still stay at home?
Yeah.
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 And what happened to the relationship with the teacher?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It wasn't brought up, and my parents just sent me to another school. It wasn't brought up. Nobody ever found out about it, other than family. And
So it stopped. The relationship stopped.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Did you have any friends that you could talk to during that time?
no, I think that was why I maybe got into the relationship in the first place.
So after that relationship ended and you moved school, how did you feel then?
Alone. But I kind of thought I've got to finish my education. And I was drinking as well, but I managed to finish.
And did you? You did?
Yeah,
Did
I
you
finished.
do well?
Not too bad. I had to later go on to college, but I did all right.
Tell me about college.
I decided to go into college to do nursing. That was a wee while later after school.
Was there a gap in between?
Yeah, there was.
Tell me about that then.
Well, there was a gap in between because I was drinking. And I just had so much going on in my head. I had to get my head round everything that had happened, and I didn't feel ready to go on to further education.
And where were you when you were doing this drinking?
I had moved out of the house and I was living in a flat.
Okay. Who did you live with?
Just myself.
Just yourself?
Mhm.
Friends?
No,
No?
Just-
Job?
No.
How did you get money?
I was on the dole.
You were on the dole?
Yeah,
Okay. How long did that go on for?
a couple of years.
A couple of years?
Yeah, till between 17 till about 20.
And what made you then decide that you're going to go back to college?
I just had enough. I'd had enough, and I thought there must be more to life than this.
And
I
was
needed more. There was for a while. I sort of threw myself into education and I qualified as a nurse, but then things sort of started to build up again.
So wow, you went to education and qualified as a nurse, so three or 4 years, yeah.
Yeah,
How did that go?
fine. I got a job in a hospital. I was working for a while, and then
Did you make friends at university?
yes, I did, but not close. Not close friends.
Okay.
Acquaintances more.
Were you still drinking?
Not heavily. I still had a little now and again. I tend to like avoid nights out because if I went down that route, I couldn't stop.
Okay. And mum and dad?
I seen them now and again, but I didn't really have much to do with them after that.
So you graduate as a nurse
Yeah.
and you get a job.
Mhm.
Tell me about that.
It was in the Royal Infirmary. I was working in the casualty department after I qualified. I was working there for like a year or two, and I met someone again.
Tell me about this person.
They were a bit older than me, again, and they were actually a patient. They were a patient. They had broke their leg. They fell off a ladder. His name's James. I'm still with him.
Okay.
He seemed like quite a sensible person, not like anyone I'd ever been with before.
Is that what attracted you to him?
Well, yeah, to be honest, to start with, I kind of went out with him for the hell of it, because I thought, right, it's not done me any favours to go with idiots in the past, so I'm going to maybe try this. And after a while, the attraction sort of grew.
On a physical level?
Yeah, both.
Okay.
Both. I mean, it was never really exciting, but yeah, I thought I'm going to go with this, and I'm still with him.
Do you live with him?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, it just kind of exists, really. We just sort of cohabit. There's not a lot. He's a lot older than me.
How old?
He's 12. No. No, he's not 12. I'm trying to count the years. So how old are you?
44, 45.
So he's quite a bit older. He's
Yeah.
middle-aged almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not comfortable saying how old he is.
Oh. That's okay.
Okay.
And are you happy?
No.
Why not?
Because it's just doesn't seem to have a point to it anymore.
Why not?
Just nothing happens. Nothing, we just sort of exist. You know, there is no meeting of minds. We don't understand each other. We don't chat. We just sort of pass each other, you know.
So what would make you happy?
I would just like to sit down and have proper conversations, like stuff, just anything that you're able to understand what both of you are talking about, just to feel alive.
Have you seen anybody who might be able to do that for you?
Yeah, occasionally. Occasionally I meet people. I'm not saying I've had an affair, but yeah,
You thought
sometimes.
about it,
Yeah, I have, yeah.
but you've not acted on it.
No, but then who doesn't? Who doesn't think about it?
And what do you want to achieve by entering this environment?
I think it's about time I had some proper fun and met people and maybe made up for a lot of stuff that I missed out with. I'd like to make connections with people.
And you feel that you've lost out on a lot for
Yeah.
how your life's turned out?
Yeah,
Are you angry with that?
I was. Not so much now. I would just like to, I would like to meet friends, like real friends, and sit and chat to them and maybe try and understand each other.
And what happens to James if you do?
Well, I'm not going to tell him if I go. I think I'll just let him figure it out for himself, and maybe he'll see me on telly and be like, oh, maybe he'll notice me or see the parts that he doesn't actually see when I'm at home.
Okay, guys. Any questions?
Do you think you would leave your partner if you met somebody else?
If I met someone else,
You wouldn't leave him?
no.
Really?
No. I think that exciting stuff is only in the beginning of each relationship. I don't believe that it carries on anyway, so you're as better off with the devil you know.
But if you can't you're wanting conversations, you're wanting someone to talk to you, if you're not getting that from him, do you not want to go find someone else?
No, maybe I will get it from him.
Do you think he still loves you?
Well, he's still there.
Would you be devastated if you went with somebody else?
Yeah, probably would. I would probably just, I think it would be the rejection. I would feel rejected.
Is he rich? You said you were a lady of leisure, so
Yeah.
does he support you?
No, he's comfortable, he's not rich.
Would you like to go back to work, or are you happy not working?
I think I would like to go back to work eventually. Maybe not necessarily back to nursing.
What's your ideal job?
Not sure actually. I think of lots of things, but I haven't really found who I am exactly yet. That's part of why I want to go into this this group. You know, maybe I'll find myself. Maybe I'll discover things about myself that I don't actually know.
Do you want to ask your favourite question, Nico?
Oh, have you got any hobbies?
I like painting, and I like socialising.
You got any pets?
No.
No. Why not?
Well, my husband doesn't like pets, so, well, he's not my husband, he's my partner. He doesn't like pets, so,
Do you like bunnies?
yeah, they're
Do you feel
okay,
like
yeah.
he is in charge? Like, if he doesn't like pets, then you don't have pets. Is he the boss?
Yeah, sort of. Not entirely, there's just certain things he's kind of set in his ways. You know, that you just know that there's no budging, so,
So you just let that happen?
yeah,
That doesn't bother you?
sometimes, yeah.
And would you say you're happy? Who asked that? Sorry.
No, I don't think I would be here if I was happy.
Do you see children in your future?
No,
Do you have a sex life?
no.
Do you want to have a sex life?
Yeah.
Does he need Viagra? Is he that old?
That's a valid question.
Well, I don't think he needs Viagra. I think he needs more of a boot up the ass.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, well done. Oh shit, sorry.